1262 1262. Chapter 1262. Betting big, just lost. The law domain condensed into a shield, and the heavy shield gave Bai Tianzong a sense of security. Through the dazzling starlight, he saw a huge throne appear above Lin Moyu's head. It was a burning gray-white flame skeleton throne. A giant skeleton slowly rose from the throne and then swung a sword towards him. A bright sword light appeared in his vision, and then the scene shifted. He was back in the pitch-black stone house. The stone house door opened, indicating he could leave.
Is the battle over?
Bai Tianzong was still in a daze, not knowing what had happened, and left the small house in confusion. Outside the small house, he saw Lin Moyu stepping out as well, and in the distance, he saw his companions with shocked expressions. He asked blankly,
"What happened?"
Lin Moyu smiled but did not answer. At this moment, both of them received a notification from the Human Emperor Network. Battle over, Lin Moyu wins. Lin Moyu gains 10 million points. When the contract was established, Lin Moyu had over 100 million points, but the Human Emperor Network ignored the small change and calculated it as 100 million. Moreover, for each subsequent win, it would still be calculated as 100 million, without accumulation. Bai Tianzong's face turned pale, pointing at Lin Moyu and muttering,
"How do you have so many points?"
Lin Moyu smiled slightly.
"Is it a lot? I don't think so."
To him, it wasn't much. He had just used 100 million points as a deposit. Otherwise, he would have won 20 million this time. If he had known someone would come to challenge him, he wouldn't have paid the deposit. Bai Tianzong's face was bloodless, and his heart ached. 10 million points were the result of his accumulation over hundreds of years, now emptied in an instant. He was in so much pain he couldn't speak, feeling extremely aggrieved. Lin Moyu comforted him.
"Victory and defeat are common in battle. Think about it this way. If you had won, you would have earned 50 million points and my ranking on the combat power list. Betting big, you didn't really lose. At least you experienced what it's like to be instantly killed."
Bai Tianzong was so angry he almost exploded.
"Experience your sister."
Who would want to experience being instantly killed? He didn't see anything before it ended. Well, he did see a giant skeleton swinging a sword at him. The skeleton was huge, about a kilometer tall, very imposing. Lin Moyu said,
"Senior brother Bai, I won't go over. Please let the next senior brother come."
Although Lin Moyu was only at the 7th stage of True God, he still addressed them as senior brothers. Bai Tianzong, despite losing everything, remained rational and said in a deep voice,
"Wait here."
When he returned, everyone immediately surrounded him, asking,
"What happened? How were you instantly killed? Was that skeleton really powerful? We only saw it swing a sword, and you were done. What did it feel like?"
Bai Tianzong was bombarded with questions, unable to respond. What did it feel like? How could he describe it? He should say it felt like being instantly killed, painless and quick. Seeing Bai Tianzong not speaking, Huoda's temper flared up.
"Say something."
At this moment, Han Yu waved his hand to stop everyone. He patted Bai Tianzong's shoulder.
"Two questions. What is Lin Moyu's realm, and how many points did you lose?"
Han Yu was the leader, and although Huoda's ranking was slightly higher, everyone trusted Han Yu's words more. When Han Yu spoke, they quieted down. A chill swept over Bai Tianzong, and he shivered, saying in a low voice,
7th stage of True God. I lost 10 million points.
Everyone's faces showed shock and disbelief.
Only the 7th stage of True God? How is that possible? 7th stage of True God, and he instantly killed you? Are you joking? If you said he was at the 7th stage of God King, I might believe it, but the 7th stage of True God? No way. You lost 10 million points? That guy has 100 million points. How does he have so many points?
7th stage of True God and 100 million points, each was unbelievable. Combined, it was even more so. Han Yu understood why Bai Tianzong had such an expression earlier. The situation was far more shocking than he had imagined. Lin Moyu wasn't at the first stage of God King but the seventh stage of True God. He wasn't just a genius who could fight above his level. He was a super genius who could cross realms in battle. Han Yu's mind worked quickly, and he immediately thought of a few things.
Now I'll say two things, and you all listen carefully. First, let's pool our points to ensure everyone has 10 million points. Second, do not reveal Lin Moyu's realm and other information to anyone outside. Keep it to yourselves and don't say a word, especially you, Huada.
Han Yu spoke very seriously, not joking. His words carried weight, and everyone listened. Huada didn't understand.
Why can't we say anything?
Han Yu explained.
A genius like Lin Moyu is under the attention and protection of the human race's high-level officials. If his information is leaked and the enemy races find out, they will spare no effort to assassinate him. If this information leaks from us, you can imagine the consequences. With the Human Emperor Network, no one can escape. Over the years, many top human geniuses have been assassinated, and each time, many people were implicated. So keep your mouth shut and don't talk, especially you, Huada.
Everyone realized the seriousness of the matter, knowing Han Yu wasn't exaggerating. They were all old-timers who had lived for hundreds of years and understood the implications. A moment later, the second person stepped forward for the next challenge. The second challenger was Han Wu, also a third-stage God King like Bai Tianzong. Ranked 21st on the combat power list, slightly higher than Bai Tianzong. Han Wu wore a bitter expression, knowing he was just there to give away points and would likely be instantly killed. The contract was already established, and there was no turning back. Now they could only go one by one, delivering points to Lin Moyu. The Skeleton King's sword had instantly killed Bai Tianzong, shattering their illusions. To instantly kill Bai Tianzong, the sword's power must have reached at least the fifth stage of God King. Lin Moyu didn't rely on treasures to reach the fifth stage of God King. He truly had that combat power. In the arena, the exclamations hadn't stopped since Bai Tianzong was instantly killed. The Skeleton King's sword amazed everyone. When others thought the battle would last dozens or hundreds of rounds, Lin Moyu ended it with an instant kill. All the previous analyses of the battle process were proven wrong. Who would have thought it would end in an instant kill?
He's really powerful. Bai Tianzong lost just like that. The skeleton Lin Moyu's summon must have at least the combat power of the fifth stage of God King. At least. Bai Tianzong didn't even react. The sword locked onto his soul, instantly exploding, ignoring spatial distance. It's too strong. An unavoidable sword. Although Han Wu is slightly stronger than Bai Tianzong, the result will likely be the same. The combat power list doesn't lie. Lin Moyu is truly formidable.
Zhang Ziyue was also in the audience, frowning, his heart beating at least half as fast as usual. He knew Bai Tianzong, though not well, but they had interacted. Bai Tianzong wasn't weak, but he was instantly killed by Lin Moyu. If it were him, Zhang Ziyue smiled bitterly, realizing he had been foolish to challenge such a monster. 1263, 1263. Chapter 1263. Secrets from Ancient Times. Lin Moyu felt strands of the power of faith, traversing the mysterious void, following ancient and mysterious rules, descending upon him. This wave of the power of faith was much more than what he had received before. Even being first on the potential list hadn't garnered him this much power of faith. But this one sword strike did. The saying,
"Seeing is believing,"
holds true. Lin Moyu believed that the news of him instantly killing Bai Tianzong with one sword must have spread, and more people would likely come to watch. Whether they could make it in time was another matter. Indeed, the news spread at an astonishing speed, faster than the speed of light. Many people flocked to the arena, eager to watch the battle. They didn't necessarily want to see 100 rounds of life and death struggle. Sometimes, a stunning sword strike was more captivating. Han Wu was mentally prepared. After seeing Lin Moyu's true realm, He didn't show as exaggerated an expression as Bai Tianzong, but he couldn't help but be shocked. Lin Moyu was indeed at the 7th stage of true God. Could he, a genius, compare to such a person? Although they were both geniuses, the gap between geniuses could be unimaginably large.
This guy must be from the Divine City. No, I've seen people from the Divine City, and they weren't this monstrous. When I get into the Divine City, I must ask how many monsters are in there.
Amid Han Wu's chaotic thoughts, the battle began. He instinctively unfolded his law domain, and a yellowish light surged around him. Within the yellowish light, there was a sharp glint with faint golden flashes. The light gradually turned golden. He excelled in the laws of earth and metal elements. Both laws were third-tier laws, not very powerful. He should have chosen one law to comprehend and become an ordinary cultivator. But he refused to give up and forcibly fused the two laws together. The laws underwent a qualitative change, becoming the Golden Stone Law. It had the sharpness of the metal law and the defense of the stone law. The Golden Stone Law was a second-tier law, and among second-tier laws it was relatively powerful, being both offensive and defensive. With this, Han Wu made it onto the combat power list and became a genius. The law domain contracted, forming a golden armor on his body. At the same time, a giant golden sword appeared in his hand. Han Wu looked like an ancient war god reborn, clad in armor, exuding an extraordinary aura. Then, above Lin Moyu's head, a burning skeleton throne appeared, just like before. The skeleton king rose from the throne and swung a sword at him. Han Wu's face changed dramatically, and he instinctively raised his sword to block. This was his instinct, but he didn't know that the god-slaying sword was unblockable. He could only rely on his defense to take the hit. He watched as his golden armor shattered under the sword light. Along with the armor, his body also shattered. His consciousness shifted, and when he opened his eyes again, he was back in the small room. Another instant kill, no surprises. The 1,000-meter-tall skeleton king instantly killed him, just like Bai Tianzong. The crowd outside erupted again. Another instant kill without any suspense.
What kind of skeleton is this? It's too strong. Is Lin Moyu going to use this move from start to finish? Is one move not enough? A single move can dominate. No matter how many spells you have, if they're not strong enough, they're useless.
The battles in the arena continued, and in a distant place, a shadow appeared in front of Area 7 to 77. The shadow's appearance was unclear, like a black hole absorbing all light. He stood there, unnoticed by anyone. If Lin Moyu were present, he would recognize this black-clad figure as the same powerful being he had seen in the black hole. Zhu Qiwu appeared beside the black-clad figure and whispered,
"Are you really going?"
The black-clad figure's voice was equally low.
"Aren't you curious?"
Zhu Qiwu honestly replied,
"Curious."
The black-clad figure's voice was emotionless.
"Curiosity is normal. Who wouldn't be curious about ancient secrets? Since you want to go, let's go together."
With a wave of his hand, the space around them changed. In the next second, they were in Area 7 to 77, standing in front of the central black hole. The level restrictions of Area 7 to 77 were meaningless to the black-clad figure. Zhu Qiwu was enveloped by an invisible force from the black-clad figure, allowing him to enter this otherwise inaccessible area. The darkness of the black hole was also meaningless to the black-clad figure. He went straight to the large pit in the black hole and stared at it. The chaotic light in the pit flowed, forming an indescribably beautiful scene. Zhu Qiwu sensed a battle intent rising from the black-clad figure. He quickly asked,
"Are you going to make a move?"
The black-clad figure slowly shook his head.
"I can't make a move, but I think we can talk to him."
As he finished speaking, an impatient voice came from the pit.
"Get lost."
The flowing light in the pit stopped, and in the next second, countless streams of light erupted like a volcano, shooting outwards. The immense power accompanied the eruption of the light. Each stream of light was as sharp as a sword, incredibly terrifying. The black-clad figure casually waved his hand, blocking the light.
You guys are really hard to talk to. Get lost.
Another angry roar, and the light erupted even more fiercely. The pit gradually closed and eventually disappeared. The black-clad figure sighed.
These guys, none of them are normal.
Zhu Qiwu remained silent. Such beings were beyond his ability to comment on. The black-clad figure continued.
Let's go. Hopefully, next time we can find someone more reasonable, at least someone we can talk to. Maybe we can have that kid keep looking. There are many old guys hiding in the battlefield. There's bound to be one we can talk to.
Zhu Qiwu understood the black-clad figure's meaning. The
kid
he mentioned was naturally Lin Moyu. The black-clad figure couldn't move freely in the battlefield. He couldn't do whatever he wanted. Some things he couldn't do himself, so he had to rely on others. Zhu Qiwu said,
That kid almost died this time. Fortunately, he was smart enough to buy time to use the teleportation jade token to escape. But you know, there are many places where the teleportation jade token is useless.
The black-clad figure hummed in agreement. The colorful light from the black hole gathered in his hand, eventually forming a beautiful hexagonal gem. The gem was dazzling and beautiful, with a black airflow in the center, like a black hole.
Give this to him. If he's in danger, let him crush it, and I'll ensure his safety.
Zhu Qiwu took the gem and respectfully replied,
Understood.
With a wave of the black-clad figure's hand, they left Area 7 to 77. The black-clad figure disappeared, leaving Zhu Qiwu alone in the starry sky. Zhu Qiwu held the gem, a thoughtful look in his eyes.
It seems the kid has caught your attention.
The challenges continued, and the audience went from being amazed to becoming accustomed to it. In every battle, Lin Moyu used the same move, summoning the Skeleton King and killing with one sword. 6 consecutive battles ended this way. Now it was the 7th battle, and the hot-tempered Huode stepped onto the stage. 1264, 1264.